things up and running here. And why not? Because we are here live in New Hampshire for PTM Racing's Custom Pro Cup Series here. Hi everyone, I am Crusader. My good friends and colleagues, the one, Don't Mess with Texas McCarthy, and the most luscious of them all, Sparkalicious. Guys, thanks for joining me here at the booth tonight as we got some of the best drivers in the Cup Series going at it. 14 of the best in the League Series going at it. On a tough track to say the least. Sparkalicious, you have more on this track. Could you go ahead and give us a rundown about this track here?
Well, this is New Hampshire. This is what they call the Magic Mile, and somebody's going to have some magic tonight on this track. We have ourselves a couple stages here tonight. We've got 3 of them here. The first stage, 17 laps. Second stage, 18 laps. Final one, and the most important one, 39 laps in that final stage. Fuel will not be an issue tonight. They can run 43 laps on fuel, but the long run may be key here at this track. Once you get those tires heated up and run a couple laps, they tend to get looser as the run goes on, so we'll see who can adapt to that.
All right, so definitely a track that you'll have to really be capable of adapting to and figuring out. McCarthy, can you give us a rundown on our drivers here tonight, and who do we have going to duke it out for this big race here in New Hampshire?
Yeah, we've got 14 drivers tonight, guys. Pretty stacked field. We've got Babuski in the 42, Checkmate Taylor in the 8, Dial running the number 12, El Blanco in the 41, G-Pre in the 19, our man Hoffy that we run with last night running in the number 3, Mr. Atkins in the 14, JR in the 36, Milk Duds in the, excuse me, my mic cut out, in the 9, Oaksy in the number 43, K Taddy in his number 22, and Young Racing in the number 1, who actually got the pole.
All right, well guys, we're live right now onto the track. As you can see, I apologize for the blue screen there. I legitimately hate throwing that at you guys, but unfortunately we got to do that so we can clear up who's sending where and who's going on what. Trust us, folks. It's a producer's thing. Don't look at me on this one. So as we get live here on to New Hampshire's track, the Magic Mile will be at hand as the best of the Cup Series duke it out for a chance to get into the playoffs picture just a couple of weeks away.
Definitely with this points race, it's really tightened up. After last night's truck race, the points race really tightened up, so we'll see how the points shape out here tonight after this one. So little races left to go.
And there we go, folks. The battle rages on here as Young Garcia, the number 1, takes an early lead against Big Smoke in the number 14. Number 4, Apollo's following right behind. Number 41 of El Blanco. You're never getting called El Succo. Driving a little bit of a lower line than everyone else. They're trying to make it stick and get ahead here. Coming down turn 3 and into 4. A little bit of a battle for second place here already as Big Smoke and the number 14 will battle it out with Apollo's number 4. Dow getting a little bit loose off exit and will maintain position, getting back into the running there as the number 22, K Taddy, currently trying to defend him off and trying to take over 5th place there.
Looks like we got a battle heating up for second here. Pottles is getting all over Atkins here as they come down into turn 3, coming off turn 4. She's up on the high line, kind of a unique line. You can't get some grip up there, but she'll fall right back in line as they come back to the start-finish line to complete another lap.
So early on, these guys making a few big moves here or there and quite a few sliders, if you will. Not as good as Iowa sliders, but nonetheless pretty good moves nonetheless to try to get the lead early. So we'll see how long that'll last for him, because this is definitely not so much on a lap count along track, but feel-wise, those tires are going to burn and that car is going to burn up for sure on this one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be definitely a long run setup. It's going to be Oh, yeah, Pottle's getting into it with
Atkins there, yeah.
Atkins there, yeah. I saw Atkins and I saw...
and El Blanco got a little bit of a bump there from Pottle's number 4 coming out of turn 2. Hits the wall there. Pottle's going high, Blanco going low, trying to make it stick and see where it goes. Didn't quite stick that time, though. Pottles will keep it around, and a little bit of a tag there on the wall. Straightens it back up, though. Trying to make a move now on number 14, Big Smoke. Look out, side by side, coming down that straightaway there. Coming down the back straightaway here out of turn 2, and Big Smoke loose off exit. He will lose that position. El Blanco will take over from there.
Yeah, it looks like that 14 is struggling a little bit up on that outside lane there. Looks like he just cannot get off the corner like everybody else can there at the moment. He's just going to have to hang on until we get to that end of that first stage.
Indeed, indeed, sir. And it looks like so far, I mean, some big moves made early and some big and kind of a feeling process, I would say, for some of these drivers. But right now, I think if you're going to really be making too big of moves, you might want to save that for later because this will burn up on you in that final stage. So kind of want to save your tires now and not worry too much about it later. But nonetheless, everyone's seeming to make their moves and make things work. But early on, this track is showing you why it's the Magic Mile and also a pain in the butt to really figure out.
Definitely a pain in the butt to figure out, kind of like Martinsville, which we'll face tomorrow.
I'd rather not think about Martinsville and get on that track.
Oh, Milk Dud's getting into G Pre a little bit coming into turn 1 here, guys. I think he's a little, maybe saying he's faster than them and kind of move out of the way a little bit.
A little bit of an excuse me.
Could be there, a little bit of a bump there. Number 42 back there, that is the big Babuski. Getting a little bit low off the high line. G-Pre gets a little bit up there, brings it back down, gets it out of the way, and Babuski even a little tag to G-Pre, but nonetheless, everybody making it around there. Good pass on both ends there, no trouble whatsoever. So we get back up to the front here. We got a little bit of a battle here up in the upper half here as the number 43 Rowdy trying to come back from that early second place finish last week in Talladega, finishing only by 0.06 of a second last week. Now he's looking to try to get back up to the top here and hope to maintain his top 4 status going into the playoffs, which is only 3 weeks away now.
I tell you what, this may be a tough track to figure out here a little bit, but I tell you what, it does produce some pretty good side-by-side racing here. I've seen a lot of guys, get side-by-side, giving each other plenty of room here, and there's plenty of room to race around here, and it's pretty good to watch all this side-by-side stuff going on here.
Absolutely there, and I think the biggest thing is that once you kind of find a line, you figure out how to hit it more and more. It really does make a big difference later on for when you got to run a little bit of a tighter run or a longer run, because the fact that you got guys battling you from the left or the right, and that's going to be really tricky to see with some of these drivers. And right now though, it seems like up front, young RCN, that number 1, just continuing to dominate early, trying to get that early stage point win. As we were coming on lap 11 of 17 here, so only a few more laps remaining in this one.
Guys, don't look too far back, but look who's... Oh, is there caution out?
That caution has called out.
Yeah, I think something happened with the 19 car. He's got a lot of front end damage on him. I don't know if he spun out and wrecked there, but it looks like he's got some heavy damage. It looks like that might be why the caution may have come out there.
We called a caution. It could have been called earlier, though, because he actually spun out about a couple laps ago in the turn 4 there. I caught him right as he was doing it. He got a little loose right into the wall and unfortunately took the barriers of the pit lane, so he took a pretty good hit there. Surprisingly, the flagman did not have his binoculars on to call that one, but all of a sudden he found one that he actually wanted to call. So who's to say there? But Oaksy also has a little bit of damage to that number 88, so maybe a little bit of a problem for those guys early. But as we get ready to go back into the pits here, up front, the number 3, I believe that is Hoffy.
That's Hoffy.
Well, Hoffy is going to take the lead. He did not take a pit stop there, so let's see if he can make that work. Green flag, high in the air. Let's finish out stage 1.
Maybe a little track position strategy here.
Well, they're going to do that. They're going 3 wide coming out of turn 2 there. El Blanco in the 41 and J.D. Atkins, big smoke in that 14 moving around. Number 4 Apollos there manages to hold him off. Great maneuvering there by all drivers, but man, that's got to be a tough break for Apollos early as she just lost a big run there.
Whoa, boy, it's getting tight off of 4.
3 wide yet again out of turn 4. You saw Hoffy, Pottles, and JR battling it out, but they managed to hold off.
Oh, wow. Boy, cars all into each other, but they all keep it going. Wow, good driving.
Great maneuverability there from everybody holding off their lines and holding out there, but it looks like early on, with only a couple more laps here, 2 to go as they come down the front, coming down to the front stretch here. Young RCN looks to have this one wrapped up as long as he can make a couple more turns here. Meanwhile, El Blanco in the number 41, yes, we know his name's El Succo. He's getting called El Blanco still. Currently in second place, trying to hold off the Pottles, the Throttle, and the number 4. So early on, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these drivers will fare up as we've said before, El Blanco is one of those guys you got to keep your eye on because he can make a move at any time and really take it away from you. But you can never count out the old Paulo's the throttle. She will put it for the floorboards if she has to with you guys.
Guys, I think she might get ready to. Oh, and she. Oh, bumper. I'm about to say, I think she might get ready to maybe put a little bumper to El Blanco and kind of lightly move him out the way, politely say, "Excuse me, thank you, coming through."
Late. Well, I believe Chivalry is not dead there because he let her, and now she's going to take his line from him. Coming down that straight. Oh, Puddle's loose.
Oh, no.
Lost it out of the turn. Unfortunately, she's going to get put in the back. I'm not even sure what happened there.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was crazy. That is the end of the stage, folks, but she actually got thrown into the pits. I think she just pushed it too hard and got that yellow line a little too quick. And when you hit that bottom line, folks, it's not like what you'll see at Martinsville tomorrow. It's actually a lot looser because there's a groove up there from the second and third lane that is flatter, but there's a groove on the top end that if you hit that, oh boy, you better make sure you're good. You don't overdo it on the exit because that will send you for a ride, and that's unfortunately what happened to Paulo's the throttle there. Oh my goodness, early troubles, but it is only stage one, so she has a chance to get back in this.
Yes, wow, she does got a good race car. It looks like she's able to hold that bottom well. Like you said, it looked like she just got a little too low there coming off the corner, and that thing just snapped on around.
Indeed, and it did, unfortunately. But you know, like you said before earlier, this may be the magic mile, but it's not an easy track to really maintain and perfect on your lines. It will get you if you're not careful.
And definitely right about that. You definitely got to hit your marks here. You just get a little bit offline, just a little bit, and you know something like that happens there.
Absolutely, indeed. Well, Paulo's the throttle has come out of pit lane now. They're going to get their drivers are getting everything figured out now, trying to figure out what they're going to do with the pits here as we re-rack, restack. So it looks like Paulo's the throttle actually got a little bit of a better pit stop off that. She will take up front from that. There's a green flag flies high in the air. Here we go again. Younger Cien. I don't know what kind of gearing he is doing right now, but he is just absolutely flying off those restarts.
Yes, he is. I mean, that car is just on a rail out there in that clean air. That's another thing, too. You get out in the clean air with these cars, and they just, you know, set the field at that point. It's up to everybody else to try to get up there and mess him up.
And speaking of that, here comes Big Smoke. The number 14 pulls a big slider right in between three wide out of turn 3 into 4 going in, taking Puddles and El Succo to the cleaners. He just threw the haymaker. Holy smokes. From the outhouse to the White House, old Big Smoke just threw the haymaker and took that one away from Pauls and El Blanco from that one. But here comes number 8, a Checkmate Taylor. He is now starting to fight in there. One of our new drivers really starting to make a move as Babuski and G. Pre out of turn 2 getting into it and unfortunately wrecking. The caution is called.
Guys, I think every time the Atkins and Pottles get into it, I think each of them are putting a little, you know, coin back there in the memory bank for, you know, if this thing goes green. Another note too is I talked to Young Racing yesterday before the race, and he was really excited about this race. And he had great setup, short run, long run. Didn't matter. He was ready for it.
Let's get a good look at our damage over here real quick on Babuski and G. Pre taking a pretty good hit there. Babuski as well, and that number 42 McDonald's Chevrolet, and he's been taking some damage early on. So, but we'll see how that kind of fares out for this one here. As now we're going to go back to the green flag here, re-rack them, restack them, put the pedal to the metal, and let's see how we back them. Green flag high in the air, and yes, I ruined that rhyme.
I was about to say.
I'm not the best at getting these rhymes, okay? Anyway, back to the race. As the battle wages on early on, Checkmate Taylor, number 8, going to do battle with the number 12 of Dial there. So now, Checkmate Taylor trying to get back up from the front. As we said before, he's trying to do what Big Smoke did, get from the outhouse to the White House, and right now he's pushing it up there. And here comes El Blanco del Succo, the number 41 in that Ford Mustang Ruckus machine, trying to push it up there a little bit, going side by side with Checkmate Taylor. Here comes the number 22 of Giggity. T-Tatty's gig coming in here out of turn 2. Makes the move and makes it work. Trying to hold it off. A little loose out of turn 2, though.
Yeah, he had to catch it all the way down to the back end of the straightaway there just to make sure he didn't wreck it. Oh, whoa!
Lever drives turn 3 and 4 pretty bad, guys. Let's Dial get underneath her, and El Blanco trying to get underneath her too.
And now Dial going to try to make her pay for it, taking the bottom line. Pottles trying to maintain that middle line, trying to keep it away from them. Side by side, little rub and is racing from Pottles to throttle. And Dial trying to dial up his own number. You can see on the back that is not his number, but we're just going to call it his number. He's going to text ROAR to dial 1-800-FHAIP. I don't know why y'all laugh. This is some good racing right here, folks. Look at
that. Is some good racing. That is really good racing, I tell you. I tell you what, that 14 car is doing some good racing because now he is kind of stuck on that number 1's back bumper now. He's not letting him get too far away as before.
Checkmate Taylor in that number 8. Oh, go ahead.
No, he's caught him. I just say he's stalking him. I think he's just waiting for the right time and place to pounce.
All right, now speaking of pouncing, Checkmate Taylor in that number 8 still continuing to pounce, but here comes the number 36 of JR. He has been a contender in these Cup Series races, and now he is trying to fight his way into the upper half here, trying to make residue of what happened at Talladega and trying to get back into the points race as we're getting closer and closer to the race. As I say that, he gets loose out of turn 2, manages to hold off and save it though, but lost a lot of time off of that one. Oh no.
Guys, we got a battle for the lead up here. It's getting tighter and tighter. It's a car length.
Yeah, that 14 car, Atkins must have made some good pit adjustments on that car because that car is now starting to come to life. I mean, it is right there with that one car now. I think we're going to have ourselves a battle now.
Number 14, a Big Smoke, J.D. Atkins, trying to get something to work and something to stick. He's got the number 1 of Young Racing in his sights, trying to get around him. Not quite able to get a push, though. Out of turn 4, so now he'll try to make it work out of turn 1 and 2 and get back into this. Early showing from these drivers as they continue to battle on with one another. Still nobody giving an inch, and Young Racing right now just continuing to hold that line and maintain position.
Mr. El Blanco just took the 4th spot away from Dial there. It was a good side-by-side battle, but El Blanco the winner in that battle right now, and he starts to pull away from him.
So El Succo has made it up a little bit higher here, trying to got around Dial in the number 12, and Dial trying to get back on the phone and dial up his own number, but meanwhile he's got the number 8 of Checkmate Taylor right behind him as well, and Powell's the throttle ahead of El Blanco. So early on, oh, did I say that? Dial spins out of turn 2. Oh no!
Problems. Big problems, turn 2.
I've been waiting all night to hear that line. Well, you heard it live, problems, but look up front here right now here, folks. The battle is for the lead, side by side. Big Smoke tried to throw the haymaker. He couldn't quite get it to stick. Young Racing in the number 1 gets that Monster Energy beast a little bit ahead. Here they come into turn 3, coming into 4. Racing has a little bit more of a push. Big Smoke trying to get that better exit. Not quite enough, though. They're coming down to the last few laps here. Two to go.
Guys, are y'all seeing the line parity here?
Mm-hmm.
This is, they can both make it work on either line. It's just a matter of who gets the turn off. And
here we go.
Here it is. Big Smoke down low, high, up on the high side, trying to take it from Young. Racing trying to hold him off. Not quite going to get it. Racing is now pushed back from the outhouse to the White House. Big Smoke, and the number 14 has taken the lead.
Slider.
Man, what a power move that was.
Not an Iowa slider, but nonetheless a good slider. So we'll take it here. And what would you call it here? I know we don't have any White Castles in here, Hampshire. But what do we call it here in the booth?
I mean, this track is known for slide jobs. Not as good as Iowa, like you said. Not as good as Iowa slide jobs, but.
Well, nonetheless, Big Smoke and the number 14 will take home the second stage win. So big point right there. That is going to be huge going into that final stage. Now he does not necessarily need to worry about being in first. He just needs to worry about staying in the top half and really get those points back. Because remember last race, He did not have a good showing there. As much as he hates to admit it, he said flat out, man, I made too many mistakes and I tried to make too many big moves and they just didn't work out in my favor. So that was my own fault. Now the big thing is you got guys like Hoffy that got some serious damage to him, as well as Dial and Naughty Milk Duds. The question is, can they find a way to get back on it from the long run stage, because they've only been running about half of what they will be running on this final stage here.
Yeah, that's going to be the true test now, because they're going to have to run out almost double, even triple the laps that they were running in the first 2 stages. So this is really going to show who's got that really long run card here in this final stage.
It will indeed. Here we go now. Big Smoke will keep the lead from Young Racing in that number 1. El Blanco, El Succo, and the number 41 will take the 3rd spot. And Caddy actually gets a good restart off that pit lane. Green flag high in the air. One more time at New Hampshire.
Boy, that one car got a good restart there. He got a good jump on that restart and took off going down in the turn, coming off turn 2 there.
I think it's safe to say he's got a good restart car when it comes to the pit from the start.
I concur.
And look at this.
Too far, guys. Look, Atkins is coming.
Atkins is coming, but we got a battle back here as El Blanco, El Succo trying to defend off the number 8 of Checkmate Taylor as well. As Bottles the throttle on the number 4, but they got company now as here comes Naughty Milk Duds in the number 9. Oh, a little bit of problems for number 36 and JR. He is spinning in the back lane there. Big problems. Hoppy involved in that wreck as well. And they're not calling
the caution for that.
No, they're not calling the caution. They will continue green.
Whoa.
So not a manual nor the flagman. I guess the flagman decided to have his binoculars not on him again. I told you, one McCarthy, not. How many times have I told you? Make sure he has those darn binoculars.
I gave him the binoculars this time. I gave it to him just like I gave it to him on Sunday.
Well, I told.
What he does with them after that.
Looks like we are getting that manual caution.
Well, I know you're the one. Well, I know you're the one. Don't mess with Texas, but man, I'll still mess with you. Iowa boys will screw with anybody. So.
I mean, let's bring it.
Bring it.
Right back out.
Well, before things get a little crazy, the producers were listening in on us, and they said flat out, "Okay, we'll call the caution. Calm down, guys. It's all right." So the manual caution has been called, folks. All seriousness aside, so they will get pit lane open here on the exit of turn 4 here. So we'll see who chooses to pit and who decides not to. Looks like Young Racing's going to stay out, as well as Big Smoke. El Blanco, El Succo is going to go in. Looks like Paul's the Throttle's going in. Rowdy is going in. Dial, Hoffy, and JR, as well as G. Pre in the number 19, and the Big Babuski. And Oaksy as well, a.k.a. Hubby. He will be going into the pits. So that is quite a field there that's going to go into the pits already. But nonetheless, there are 5 drivers staying out, so that's 5 positions that some of these drivers are going to have to make back. That's going to be pretty tough.
Wow, interesting call here. It's going to be interesting how those fresh tires work out for those guys that just pitted.
Absolutely, indeed. But I mean, the biggest thing is that for some of these guys, is it worth trying to stay out now, and try to make that long run work off the tires and the fuel, rather than trying to actually get the car kind of loosened in and tightened up for the later half? Because that's the big thing to me, is like pitting now is honestly a pretty smart move if you're for sure on how that long run setup or the short run setup is. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that as well. Come down pit early too, because I mean they ran a few laps on these tires, but the fresh tires are pretty good here for New Hampshire. They may be able to run a little bit longer on a little bit fresher rubber that they have.
It looks like everyone's getting back together, so it looks like we are going to go green here. And there it is, green flag high in the air. Here we go again.
I wonder too if anybody was counting position of how many was pitting versus not, and where they would start, and so on and so forth.
And it looks like the flagman said, "What on good God green earth was that? That was not the way you guys are supposed to go 2 by 2. Reline back up and get back on the restart."
We got a full start on the
Pole sitter.
Pole sitter.
False start. Number 1, Young RCN. 10 lap penalty. Next race, I don't know.
Repeat first lap. Oh.
repeat first lap. Okay, there you go. Repeat lap 44. Well, okay, it was.
On here.
Wow.
It looks like they do got a penalty going.
Yeah, some troubles there going on. Looks like some drivers are going to go back into the pits. Looks like some other issues there. May have been just a bad restart, some damage on those guys. So it looks like, yeah, they will go around one more time here. Well, I guess that gives us a good chance to go to our sponsors here. So we want to say on behalf of PTM Racing is sponsored in part for New Hampshire's Custom Cup Series dirt tracking for your mobile Android and iOS devices. If you're looking for the best dirt track racing game on the market, look into Dirt Tracking and Dirt Tracking 2 for your mobile Android and iOS devices. The best late models, sprint cars, midgets, and modifieds you can ask for are live and ready to go on the Dirt Track Racing Series. Be sure to check that out for your mobile Android and iOS devices. As well as thank you to Courtesy Chrysler and Jeep dealership out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for sponsoring us. If you're looking for a good hot rod to take out of the Pennsylvania area, be sure to look into Courtesy Chrysler and Jeep out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Well, guys, I think that flagman has got the one to go up on the flag stand there. So it looks like we're going to get these guys re-racked, restacked, and go on from there. A few drivers getting put in the back. I saw K Taddy. He actually got put way in the back, so he's going to have to travel from the outhouse to get back into that White House section because he's going to have a lot of work to deal with there.
Yeah, that was a weird kind of a range of events there, but now it looks like we've got everything all sorted out here as we get ready for this restart.
And the restart is gone. Here we go. So Young Racing actually did not get the best restart there. Big Smoke, the number 14, got a much better start, as well as El Blanco, El Succo, the number 41. He got a good one off that. But Young Racing, number 1, still battling it out for second. Side by side, coming down the back straightaway here with El Blanco, El Succo, and the number 41 trying to hold him off. El Blanco trying to throw the haymakers at Young Racing, but Young Racing says, I don't care, I will slide in there and take it. And look right behind him, the number 12 of Dial, trying to dial up his own number, letting these guys fight it out, but catch up to him. Trying to make the big move early. There's about 30 laps remaining in this one here, folks.
30 laps left. Ooh.
Dial a little bit loose off exit there. Oh, a little bit of a tap there from Dial to Pottles, number 4, as they try to make the move in. Pottles now holding the inside line away from Dial. Dial trying to make it work on the outside there, but he's got he's got Checkmate Taylor and the number 8 there blocking his way. Oh, a little bit of a slider there from Dial, trying to move back in, not realizing where Pottles was.
It's getting close here, guys. This is going to be a good 25-lap shootout here coming.
It will indeed, but my goodness, some fresh faces you don't normally see up there battling it here, as Paul's the throttle now has caught back up to number 8 of Checkmate Taylor, trying to get around some of these guys as El Blanco, El Succo overtakes Young RCN in number 1 there. And now here comes Young El Blanco, El Succo catching up to Big Smoke, the number 14. Big Smoke, you better be telling CJ to get on that follow that damn train, boy, because right now you got company right behind you.
Wow, yeah, now it's turned into a 3-car battle now for the lead. And 41 looks like he's made some adjustments and got that car tuned up now. And here he goes for the lead down the front straightaway.
Here comes El Blanco, El Succo on the 41 with only about 25 laps remaining in this one. El Blanco pulls it, slides up, can't quite get it to stick, but pulls it off on the exit. Here he comes down to the back straightaway. They're going to go side by side. Look at the gap between there, folks. They're just going to have to push it into that turn. El Blanco taking the upper line. J.D. Atkins going to the lower line. Here comes Young RCN in the 1, trying to make it work. And El Blanco manages to make it stick this time and overtakes the number 14 of Big Smoke, J.D. Atkins.
Guys, these guys battling is just going to bring the 4th, 5th, and 6th place cars that much closer.
We got problems in the back. Big problems. Big problems. K Taddy got loose out of turn 1 and 2. I'm not sure if that was a bump there, but 2 drivers involved in that one. I'm not sure if the caution is called for that, but my goodness, folks, a big wreck back there in the back.
Still green, looks like. From what I'm hearing, they're rolling, so they're green.
And that was Rowley in the 43 that got involved in that
I think they're slowing down, guys. They are coming to a stop. The caution has been called, and this looks to be a manual caution. The guys and the producers
boy.
in the booth said flat out, yeah, we know, Crusader. McCarthy gave that flag man the binoculars, but he didn't listen this time, so it's not her fault. For that, I apologize, McCarthy. I'm sorry. I'll take you out to dinner later. We'll go get some we'll get some Texas-sized steaks later. All right. We won't go to Texas Roadhouse this time. I promise.
Yeah, I told you don't go to Texas Roadhouse for steak. Go to the steakhouse. Like,
Well, how was I supposed to know about that? Like I only have Texas Roadhouses here in Iowa, so that's all I had. Okay, God.
I told you that's not a steakhouse.
let's say
Like
Texas.
everybody's pitting.
And then, after all the bickering and backering here, folks, everyone has pitted indeed, as the wise one here, Sparkalicious, has said. So, looks like everybody's going to get some fresh tires off that. Probably smart thinking there for these guys. Okay, what about Outback Steakhouse? How about that? You ever been there?
Yes, I have. We've had them all over, and it's still an invitation.
All right. So we'll go to Outback Steakhouse and call it good there. All right, call it good.
No, you got to go to downtown Fort Worth. It's called JR Steakhouse.
Oh.
Phenomenal. I mean, magnifico steak.
Hashtag not sponsored, folks.
You all go to the steakhouse. This is New Hampshire. I'm going to go get me some seafood.
All right. We'll agree there.
Speaking of seafood, Mr. Sparkalicious, at JR Steakhouse has a shrimp, lobster, and steak trio that is to die for.
Ooh, now you're speaking my language.
Now y'all making me hungry. I've got crab legs in my head and shrimp scampi in my mind right now. To the 5 people that have now tuned in with us, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your love and support. Hope you guys are enjoying the race so far as we're coming down the last few laps here of the final stage here. So about 22 laps remaining in this one. As the green flag flies high in the air yet again, El Blanco, El Succo will take the early advantage as Big Smoke, the number 14, trying to get back on the train and get back into this. But here comes Powell's the throttle. She has fresh tires now, and we know what she can do with fresh tires here. She's pushing it.
She's saying, get out of my way. Here I come, boys.
Well, here comes something else. It's Dial. He's trying to dial up his own number and make it stick, working his way up. Getting a little bit loose off exit. Can't quite get it to stick. Here comes number 1 of Young Racing. Puts that Monster Energy Chevrolet to good use. Puts the power in it. And throws a good haymaker at Dial. But Dial not to be outdone. He throws one more at him. Trying to slide up and take it from him. Not quite able to get it off of that. Down the back straightaway here though. Dial now has regained the lead. Has regained that position. But JR in the number 36. A little bit of a bump from Taylor. Checkmate Taylor in number 8. All drivers maintaining good line of position, coming down the front straightaway here.
Man, young RCN, boy, he's dropping back. I'm a little concerned about him now. Let's see if he can try to get it back together and get back up there.
We'll have to see indeed. A little bit of a 3 wide action coming out of turn 1 into 2, and now Taylor will do battle with the number 36 of JR. These two going side by side down into turn 3 into 4. Hoping Young Race is just thinking, man, I hope you guys are messing around. But up front, guys, we got a battle for the lead yet again. Big Smoke is being challenged by El Blanco, El Succo. The 41 of El Blanco and the number 14 of Big Smoke, J.D. Atkins, trying to hold him off. Coming out turn 2. It looks like he's got the better run. Atkins gets the run off him and takes the lead.
And look who is lurking in third.
Paddles the throttle.
Here she comes.
But
Don't
here
wanna
comes
jinx
El
her
Blanco,
here,
El
but
Succo
boy,
again.
This
Wow.
is looking like one of her better runs of the year right here.
She's still got a long ways to go, though. Just under 18 laps remaining in this one. El Blanco, El Succo up on the high line. Makes it stick, though, and gets it back down. Trying to overtake Big Smoke, J.D. Atkins. Paul's the throttle just got to be salivating over this right now. She's just thinking, man, you two just keep fighting. I don't care. I will find a way around both of you once you both make a mistake. These two just going at it and trying to throw haymakers at one another. But nothing can either sticks or it is just too good to taste.
She put the bumper to El Blanco.
Oh,
yes,
she did indeed. A little bit of a bump there in the rear. Nonetheless, El Blanco, El Succo holds off on that one.
She's driving the gnarly car tonight, and she's definitely being gnarly right now.
Being gnarly, and you know, she's getting a little bit pinchy like a couple of good lobsters at a good lobster shack. Crab Shack, excuse me.
Speaking of those lobsters, have y'all seen this lobster that they get when after they win? That is huge.
What do you mean, what
Huge
kind of lobster they get? You mean they actually get lobsters for this?
Yeah, the trophy is a lobster.
Oh, god dang it, why wasn't I notified about this? I would have gone on the track and raced for that thing. I'm hungry right now, man.
Uh-oh, here we go again.
I should probably keep my mouth shut. Look at this, the battle up here. Look at this. Almost 3 wide coming down the front stretch for the lead. El Blanco, El Succo. He's holding off the Big Smoke in number 14, but battles the throttle trying to hold it off as well. Couldn't get the bottom line to work. And now Big Smoke and El Blanco will get the run. Bottles the Throttle has enough of a lead from Dial, though, that she can hold off for just a second. But the battle still rages on up front. El Blanco, El Succo, you still got company, sir. J.D. Atkins, the number 14, just throwing everything he's got to the wall and then some, but just can't get it to stick.
Man, how many more laps we got to go? This is getting intense.
We got 14 laps left in this one, guys. Oh, my goodness. And look at this. They're going to do battle yet again. El Blanco, El Succo, and Big Smoke. Down turn 3 and 4. Here we go. Bottles of Throttle has a little bit of a run now, trying to get around. She's pushing it and trying to get ahead. Here they come side by side down the front stretch. Bottles of Throttle. She has got the run, trying to make it stick. El Blanco, El Succo trying to get that bottom line to work as well. Not quite going to get it there. Coming off exit. Looks like he's got a little bit more of a run, but Bottles the Throttle found another gear. She got ahead. Takes second over. Holy smokes.
Man, I hope these guys don't wear themselves out.
Right?
I'm getting worn out just talking about this. Oh my goodness, folks. If you're just not watching this live, you're watching an incredible race. But if you're watching this from the past, you missed out on some incredible racing. That's why you got to tune in live and watch it happen right here and then. This is some of the best racing you will see in any league races, to say the least.
Live is always better, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I would say so, but also kind of depends on who you talk to. Depends on how many times I mess up when I call a line or call a caution. Nonetheless,
we'll try to make a rhyme.
Let's all shut up. Anyway, 11 laps to go here. Before we get into problems territory, right now the battle is still raging on here, as now Young Racing and that number 1 trying to battle it out with number 12, a Dial trying to dial up his own number, not quite able to get it to stick, but the number 1, a Young Racing, he has now made it work. Bottom line, down low, up high, slingshots it right out of turn 4.
Oh, here comes El Blanco's. Here comes El Blanco down on the bottom of Bottles, back up for second.
El Blanco, El Succo, yet again makes the move down low, slides it up, slingshots it right into second place. The battle for second and first has been battled on this entire race, but right now J.D. Atkins has just got to be salivating over the fact that these two are going at it. He is running away with this with only 9 laps remaining.
I think Atkins might be looking for some revenge or some redemption after last week in Talladega.
I mean, he got pushed back in the points a little bit, so he has a lot of work to do, and a win tonight would definitely make a big run for that.
And remember, he also won stage 2 as well, so he got the extra point for that. So any point helps at this point.
Absolutely, indeed. And right now, currently, the driver's starting to space out just a little bit. You can see how far the gap is from some of these drivers. But nonetheless, as the tires are starting to wear down, you got to wonder how much more of those tires are going to last and how much more can they take before this gets to the point of no return.
Especially when those guys was battling so hard there a few laps ago. Did they make the tires mad enough? Did they wear off some tires here, or will they start fading before the end of this go?
I'll tell you, one guy is going to make his tires mad if he's not careful. El Blanco, El Succo just absolutely try to pull a slider out of turn 3 into 4 there, as you've seen live. Pushed it hard and didn't quite get it to stick, but he got a good run off it nonetheless. Trying to get J.D. Atkins, Big Smoke trying to hold him off. Telling CJ to follow the damn train, boy. Oh, as he says that, he got loose. He got loose out of turn 2. Big Smoke loses it to El Blanco, El Succo. The number 41 now takes the lead with Paul's the Throttle right behind him. Holy smokes, that was a big miss there from J.D. Atkins.
Oh boy, that might be time to take the mirror off.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think
now
put that mirror up, boys, and just Let her dig.
I don't even think he has the mirror up. I think he just punched it out when he came out of that exit. Oh my goodness.
He was thinking he was going to victory lane already.
You can't overthink a track. You cannot let anyone catch up to you. That is why you make every turn count. And right now he's in the wall. Here comes Paul's the throttle down low into the inside. Takes over second. Takes it away from Big Smoke in number 14. There's only five laps remaining in this one. And Paul's the throttle's loose out of turn 2.
She saves it though.
Saved it, nicely done there. Holy smokes, folks. This is all over the place, to say the least. Incredible driving from these guys, but I just gotta be wondering how much more can these guys handle. El Blanco, El Succo is running away with this with only 4 laps remaining here.
Oh, Paul's overdrove turn 1.
Overdrove turn 1.
There goes Atkins on by.
Big Smoke now overtakes it, but look at this. From the back of the pack, from the outhouse going up to the White House, Young Racing the number 1. He's found his marks and started to hit them at each time. He's caught up to the leaders. But still, the battle rages on to top 3, trying to hold out. Pottles trying to keep it tight. Big Smoke just trying not to make any more mistakes. Young Racing looking to get everything he's got to get back in this and get into the points race. And El Blanco, El Succo, the only one out of this field that has pretty much just absolutely ran away with this right now, just trying to get further and further away from the trouble that is right behind him.
Up here comes Pottles down on the bottom, coming off turn 4 here. The battle for second is still continuing.
I would be careful. You got somebody right behind you, eyeing them both. 2 to go here, coming down the front, back, coming down the turn 1 into 2. Pottles the throttle now, takes the low line away from Big Smoke. Big Smoke doesn't have the run, and Young Racing number 1 now. He's making it work. He's making it stick, trying to catch up. There's going to be 1 lap to go, coming out of turn 3 into 4. And look at this, Young Racing the number 1. He pulls the slider up. Oh, he gets at the stick.
Yep.
Barely getting at the stick.
Close.
That was a close one. Final lap here now, folks.
Oh, here goes Atkins right into his corner. Oh, but they still hold on to it.
Holy smokes.
Payback maybe for something. You didn't appreciate getting raced the way you did or something, guys.
It could have been, but coming down the final turn, El Blanco, El Succo will take home the victory in New Hampshire. But right behind him, the battle is still there. Coming down the front straightaway, and it looks like it's going to be Paul's the throttle finishing second. Young RCN, the number 1, finishing third. From the outhouse to the White House, he made it back into this water race.
I don't know about y'all, but that's a good showing for Pottles and for Young Racing.
Yeah, that is a fantastic showing from all these drivers. I don't know what you were talking about yet. That was just incredible running from everybody there. Paul's the throttle finally getting that monkey off her back and finally showing why she's one of the best out here. Young RCN, still a newcomer to our series, just absolutely put the pedal to the metal tonight and finally got it back up there. What an incredible run he had down the wire. And El Blanco, El Succo, say what you will about him tonight, but you got to say and you got to prove it here. He made some incredible maneuvers, incredible sliders to take this one home tonight.
Yes, he did. Man, what a race.
What a race, what a finish, and what a battle. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to go back and watch this one. That was incredible.
I gotta believe Atkins has got to be kicking himself.
I gotta believe right now Big Smoke has just brutally caught the famous line that everybody knows in Grand Theft Auto. All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ! Nonetheless, Big Smoke will finish 4th place here tonight. I couldn't quite catch who was 5th there in fastest lap. Look at that, fastest lap to Pottles there. She takes home 20 points here tonight. JD Atkins was a blistering 2nd fastest. Number 3rd will go to Young Racing, number 1. And we got these guys in the booth right now. We're going to get El Blanco, El Succo on the track, but right now we have the number 1 of Young Racing in the booth with us here tonight. Congratulations on a podium finish here in New Hampshire. You worked your way from the back, as we say. You came from the outhouse and made your way up into the White House section. Didn't quite get the lead there on that final stage, but what was going through your mind when you finally caught up to the leaders there?
Tires were shot. I was just happy to get back to where I was.
Well, nonetheless, tires were shot, but it seemed like you had an incredible setup that was just blistering fast and hard running nonetheless. But, man, that was just an incredible showing from you there.
I appreciate that. It was good in the first 2 stages. I tried to keep making changes working for the long run, and it just, tires wouldn't stay under it. It was all I could do at the end to keep it under me.
Absolutely indeed. But nonetheless, here tonight, Young Racing, you got yourself a 3rd place podium finish. Congratulations on an incredible performance. Hope to see you next week at Canadian Tire for that road course challenge.
Absolutely. I'll be there.
All right. Congratulations again, Young Racing.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right, guys, in
Appreciate it.
2nd place finish here tonight. She finally got that big old monkey off her back and really just made a run back into the top 4. This is Paul's the Throttle in that number 4. Congratulations tonight on an incredible 2nd place finish. But, man, you had some company and some battles, to say the least, to get into that spot.
About time, that's all I can say. But yeah, it was a tough battle, a lot of fast people, but it was clean for how tight the track is, so I'm just glad I got to keep it in 2nd.
Absolutely, indeed. We did see you were getting a little bit loose there, but you managed to maintain and hold out, so that was definitely got to be a big chip off your shoulder there at the end.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Green flag is in the air.
All right. Well, guys, you finished 2nd place here tonight. Give it up for Pauls the Throttle in that number 4 machine. Congratulations again, Pauls, on the victory. We can't wait to see you next week at Canadian Tire.
Thanks.
Woohoo!
Well, folks, I'm waiting for El Blanco El Succo to get out of the car and talk in the booth right now. He's doing some donuts right now. He's having a little too much fun over there.
Wanted to get the donuts out of the way first.
I guess he did. He's doing them though. Look at this. Got some good sliding donuts here right now. They're so good. He might as well get a job at Dunkin' Donuts because he's making some delicious donuts right now. Yeah, he's looking like Lightning McQueen out here. He's just slinging it to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. God, you might as well be doing the Cupid Shuffle right now.
Kachinga.
It's Kachow, not Kachinga. That's no, never mind. All right,
Never mind.
El Blanco El Succo. Let's get him in the booth here. Here he is, your race winner here tonight in New Hampshire, El Blanco El Succo. Congratulations, El Blanco, on a big victory here tonight. You definitely pushed it to the limit, and you had to work from the back to the front, as we say here in PTM, from the outhouse to the White House. What a win here tonight. He's done a few too many donuts, folks. He's gotten dizzy and kind of uncooperative right now. We will get back with you in just a minute on that.
All right, we're good. We're good. It was a tough race. Battling Atkins and Podlos there at the end. It was a battle, to say the least. This is my home track here too, and also my worst freaking track. So.
If that's your worst, you definitely pulled it off here tonight, then.
Yeah, it was. I just had a good long run car. The short run was horrible, but I knew I just needed a long run just to, hopefully set sail, and hopefully everybody else didn't have a long run car. And thankfully, not really. Atkins, he had an okay car, but it kind of fell off there at the end, and I was just worried about Poddles because she had a good car. But overall, it was a great race. I'm just glad to finally get a win.
Absolutely, indeed. You finally got your very first victory here in PTM Racing. So congratulations yet again and finishing on your home track. We can't wait to see you next week at Canadian Tire for the Road Course Challenge.
Oh, boy,
Have fun with that. Nonetheless, congratulations here tonight, El Blanco El Succo. Go enjoy some more donuts, buddy.
Oh, I definitely will.
All right. Well, the one, don't mess with Texas McCarthy and Sparkalicious. What an incredible race we had here tonight. That was one for the ages. Don't worry, folks. We're
my water and kind of swallowed the wrong way.
well, that's what you get for not doing that's what you get for being in the producer's booth right now and forgetting how to drink water, for crying out loud.
But yeah, definitely a great race on everybody's part. Close racing. I think we kind of knew it was going to be close racing. Off the top 3, top 5 qualifying speeds, and how close they were.
Yes, indeed. It definitely was a very close race. There was a lot of comers and goers in there. Good job to all the top 3 drivers there for young RCN, who had a good car all night and came up there in the end, still was able to get the top 3. Good job for El Succo on the win there.
El Blanco, El Succo.
El Blanco, El Succo, and then what a shot in the arm for Pottles. I really felt good for her tonight. That's a run that she needed tonight. Good job by her. Good job by all the drivers.
She got a good one here tonight. She definitely will be looking into that battle at Canadian Tire next week. But I can tell you right now, El Blanco El Succo is definitely looking to punch his ticket into the dance just a couple weeks from now. And of course, you can't count out old Young Racing and Big Smoke. Those guys definitely put on a show tonight. I think, in all honesty, though, the guy that surprised me the most was Checkmate Taylor in that number 8, really making it work and pushing it up to its limits. He really had some good runs there and had some good battles. Nonetheless, just didn't quite get it tonight. But I think he's going to be a player down the road.
Definitely agree with that. Definitely.
Well, guys, that's...
This year is his rookie year. It will be kind of a learning situation when the next weekend, the pedal to the metal.
Indeed, indeed. Well, guys, that's going to really wrap it up here for New Hampshire. Thanks again for tuning in to all those who are tuning in live. If you're just now watching this later on the broadcast, thank you for watching PTM Racing. We hope you enjoyed all of this. This was the Custom Cup Professional Series. These guys definitely put on a show. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again to our sponsors, Dirt Tracking and courtesy Chrysler A&G Jeep out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. For all of us here at PTM Racing, I'm Crusader, and before I go, I'm doing some burnouts. But nonetheless, y'all have a good night. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow night at Martinsville for the Xfinity Semi-Pro Series. And we're done.